Hi knitters! Welcome back to Our Knits and Purls. I'm your host Aro of Our Knits and Purls. As always, find my Ravelry, Instagram, Ko-Fi, Patreon linked in the description below, as well as links to any dyers, makers, designers that I talk about in today's episode. And I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me say that same intro, but I feel like today especially that intro is needed because it has been so long, you guys, too long. I am so sorry I've been gone. But truly, thank you so much for your patience while I've been away. For those of you who don't know, I was in South Korea where I was born, visiting my family for the first time in 9 years. Yeah, so I went as a refresher to spread my mom's ashes per her last wish, which I did. And I am very, very glad that I did it. It was needed for me, it was needed for her memory, and I think the rest of my extended family also appreciated that as well. But anyway, I'm back. I've been back exactly 1 week, so my voice is still a little hoarse because I was very, very tired, but I'm back. We good. We Gucci. Happy. Yeah, so I didn't knit a lot while I was on my trip. It was kind of a whirlwind. If you didn't watch my Instagram stories while I was away, every 2 nights I would be in a different city. So it was really just go, go, go. And I didn't have a lot of time to myself to just sit and knit and I was forced to be very extroverted just because of the situations that I was in. And anyway, but I'm glad to be back. I'm really happy to be back to my rhythm, my natural rhythm, I should say, because both aspects of that life are me. They're just different aspects. Anyway, I look a little bit different too. You're not imagining it. My hair is redder. I got it dyed. I am wearing my glasses today because I ran out of my contacts, and I prefer myself wearing contacts, but I didn't want to delay even one more day, which is the one day I would need for my contacts to get delivered. But I didn't want to delay because, again, you guys have been amazingly patient. Thank you so much. I really did think about, like, oh, I should say this in my next episode. Oh, I should say this. But of course, you guys know I generally tend to forget everything. So we'll see how it goes. Speaking of forgetting what I'm wearing, I might have already worn this in an episode. This is my Clove sweater by Rachel Knits Things. I made this, I think, last year. The colorway was Champagne by Suburban Stitcher. I really hope I didn't just wear this in an episode. Surely I wouldn't be that dumb, right? But even if I did, you know what? It just goes to show you how much I love this knit. I wear it all the time. So you know what, even if I did, whatever, it's fine. I've been gone a month. Give me some slack, right? Okay, so like I said, I didn't get to knit a lot, so the whips that I showed you guys right before I left are almost in the same spot. Really, there's not a lot of progress to show, nothing substantial anyway, so I only have 2 whips to show you, and these are ones you haven't seen before. First one I'll show you is this guy. If you'll notice, he's real scrunched up. He's on teeny tiny needles, like, I mean, circumference wise, not gauge wise. I think these are US 7s by gauge, but they're on teeny tiny circumference needles because I am out of the needles that I normally would use for this size of a project. I am out of needles, like, almost altogether. I'm having a real come to Jesus moment with myself, because most of my past whips, I've talked about this in earlier episodes, I keep them on needles, because I used to do the thing where you put them on waste yarn and like take the needle off so I can use it for other projects. But I found that when I did that, I wouldn't want to pick it back up because putting them back on the needles and making sure they're not twisted, like, it was just so annoying, that I didn't want to go back to it. So now I keep them on needles. But then that leads to the issue of I have no needles. And if you are thinking something logical, like Aro, maybe just don't have so many whips, or maybe Aro, like, buy some of those like detachable cords and like tie them off or something, you know, something logical like that. I thought about it, and clearly because I said them, and then I thought, nah. So when I say things like this, it's not that I actually need someone to fix it for me. It's just I've weighed the options and I've decided to go with that. Yeah. If that drives you bonkers, it's how I live. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, this one is the Memory Sweater by Sibelia of Camellia Fiber Company. Sylvia of Camellia Fiber Company, and it's a very simple raglan. The body is 2 strands of suri held together with simple raglan increases, so just your normal make one left, make one right, and the trim, the ribbing trim, is in regular DK weight. So if you have a suri sensitivity, I would suggest just using regular DK. You can still do a contrast in color, but obviously won't have that same fuzzy halo. And I will say, if you are someone with skin sensitivities to fuzzy yarn, whether it's suri or mohair, please don't push yourself. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, my skin's so sensitive, but it looks so pretty, I really want it. And I get it. Obviously, I love fuzzy yarns. This is fuzzy. This is fuzzy. The other thing I'm about to show you is fuzzy. I love fuzzy yarns. You guys know that. But if it's a question as to your health, your well-being, you know, for me, I wouldn't want to knit something if I knew I couldn't wear it comfortably. And if you are sensitive to fuzzy yarns, like, don't force yourself to do it unless you really want to. If you, like me, have thought about it, weighed the options, and decided to do it anyway, don't let me tell you otherwise. Don't let me tell you otherwise. But like, if I have a lot of people who have reached out being like, oh, I'm like really sensitive to this mohair, what about this one? And I'm like, 1, I can't tell you, it's your skin, I don't know what you're gonna react to. But 2, like, do you really need it, as opposed to just really want it? And I know for knitters, for me, that is so hard to differentiate. But anyway, yeah, so the same look won't be achieved with non-fuzzy yarn. Like, it obviously just, it won't have that fuzzy halo, but I think it'll still look beautiful in a regular yarn. Yeah, so the pattern Memory Sweater is in honor of Camellia Fiber Company, Sylvia's mother, who passed earlier this year due to complications from Alzheimer's. She struggled with Alzheimer's disease for a very long time, and I know her passing was very difficult for Sylvia. So when she put out this test knit, obviously Sylvia is a fellow Korean woman, and she's a very talented dyer whom I really admire. So being part of the test, and maybe just the timing of it, because I was on that trip to Korea in large part for my mom. So I thought about her a lot. I thought about my mom a lot. And I talked about this on my grid, so if it seems repetitive, I'm sorry. But yeah, and this knit was perfect for the amount of knitting I could do while I was over there. Like I said, it was very busy, but because the stitch pattern itself, it's just stockinette other than the simple raglan increases, it was very conducive to the kind of meditation that I like to do, which is, it's not the idea for me of thinking about nothing. I think it's very difficult, and people tend to stress out whenever they try to meditate and then they think of something and they're like, oh, I failed. It's really not about that for me. For me, what I try to do is, yes, thoughts will come to your mind. It's only natural. While your brain is still functioning, thoughts will come to your mind. But the act of meditation for me, I focus on letting those thoughts go. Like, they'll come, but don't fixate on them. Don't even really acknowledge them. Just let them pass. And for me, that's the practice. But again, that's a personal judgment of meditation. Everybody's practice is different. Anyway, but it was really conducive for it. I am like 2 rows away from sleeve separation, so this won't be as scrunched in a moment, but it is quite scrunched right now. But anyway, it's a really beautiful yarn. The yarn I'm using, up top, the contrast is Explorer Knits Celtic Harp from her Ireland collection. And I really hope you guys got some of the Ireland 2.0. I know I tried to warn y'all that was happening. Yeah, I didn't get anything Ireland 2.0. I really wanted it, but I managed to abstain, thankfully. And then the second color, the 2 strands of Surrey, is Murphy's Brown Bread. And Murphy's Brown Bread is this gorgeous neutral cream with flecks of gold and orangey bits and brown. And if you guys don't remember Allie of Explorer Knits, her colorway inspiration, Celtic harp is obvious, it's a harp. And then with Murphy's Brown Bread, there was this ice cream shop, this famous ice cream shop in Ireland when she went, that had this brown bread flavor. And it sounds so fascinating to me. I desperately want to go and have this ice cream. But in the meantime, I have this yarn and it's beautiful, and that is what I think about. Other than my mom and the concept of loss, while I work on this, I also think about ice cream, which, you know, I think my mom would really like. She loved ice cream. So anyway, so that's one whip. The other whip is using this yarn. I usually don't have yarn in skeins to show you guys while I have a whip going, because I tend to wind them all at once. I used to really enjoy winding. I hate winding now, and that's only because I have a really awful winder. Megan, Kimchi & Co. can tell you, like, my winder, I have to wind sometimes when she's here, and it's just like it's an awful sound. It's just horrendous. I really need a new one. I've been putting it off. Maybe this holiday season I will get one for myself. I've heard lots of good things about the Stanwood. Is that it? Stanwood? I think that's the right name. If you have had that one and you don't like it, let me know. If you have another suggestion of yarn winder, please let me know in the comments. I really need a new winder. I have a Swift that I'm happy with. It's just the winder, because the sound of the gears just grinding up, it's just too much. Anyway, so that's why I tend to wind all at once, because I never want to make myself do little bits at a time. But luckily for you, I have this in skein form. This is Sunday Fiber Company. I may have talked about it in another episode, like maybe right before I left. If so, I apologize if this is repetitive. But this colorway is Peony Season on her organic worsted base. She calls it Homebody organic worsted base. It's 100% organic merino wool. It is superwash, but it's eco superwash, which means it uses a more environmentally friendly process. I've talked about it before on a bunch of different episodes, so I don't want to get too into it again. But superwash, it's about the quality. There are many different ways to achieve superwash yarn, different processes that can happen. Some are done chemically, some use natural chemicals. Anyway, I don't want to get into it again. It was a lot. I'm not a real fiber nerd. I know a lot of people who are. I am not your source for fiber nerd knowledge, because I have barely passable knowledge. But Elise of Sunday Fiber Company, she takes environmental issues very seriously, and I really respect her because she does put so much time and effort into learning about it and talking about it. She's your resource, not me. But anyway, yeah, so her organic worsted base. Love this. And this is what it's up into. I will say though, this you will see a halo on, because I also, you guys know me, I love fuzzy yarns, and I happen to hold it with this. So this is Biche Bouche, Le Petit Mohair. I've talked about this mohair in particular before. It is not my favorite mohair to work with. It's not the highest quality. However, when I'm just holding it with another yarn, I don't need my mohair to be the best quality. I would say this is a 75% top of the class. Like, it's not, definitely not ranked in the A's like La Bien Aimée and Shibui Silk Cloud. Those are my A's. Those are really good quality silk mohairs. But this one, it's definitely gonna pass the class. Maybe like a B minus grade. It's also a semi-reasonable price point for what it is. So if you don't wanna shell out the money for La Bien Aimée or Shibui Silk Cloud, Le Petit Silk Mohair from Biche Bouche. That's what I would recommend. And this is the nude They call this colorway nude pink. That's also another issue I need to talk to you about. What about this looks like nude pink? It looks like undyed beige mohair. It's not pink in any way, shape, or form. And I will absolutely go to war on this issue because you guys know, I know my pinks. I know pink. I love pink. I eat pink. I breathe pink. This is not pink, okay? Like, it's a good colorway. It's a really good, if you had told me this was an undyed colorway, I would have believed you. Because look at this. Look at this. Okay, but again, it got me heated. It got me heated. But held together with this. Looks really pretty. Looks really pretty. Sunday Fibre Co. I'm just moving my piece of paper out of the frame. There we go. Yeah, and this, what it is hard to see right now. So what it's going to become, right now it just looks like a mess, doesn't it? I'll show you the back since the back looks neater. It's going to be the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta, and it's due very soon, and I don't have a lot to show you because actually I got to past sleeve separation, like I joined the body front and back, and then I realized, oh, this is gonna be way too big. My gauge was just like half a stitch off for every inch, half a stitch. And that adds up. That adds up. And I'm one of those toxic people who refuses to gauge check. And again, this goes back to I know that the solution to things like this is just to gauge swatch. I know that intellectually. But I weighed the options and I decided not to, and I decide not to every single time. So like, don't be commenting like, oh, that's why you should gauge swatch. I know, I am aware. But here I am, the maker of my own chaos. Anyway, the Lakes Pullover. It uses this saddle shoulder construction. So what you do is you knit this little rectangle part on the shoulders and then pick up for the back. Do the same on the other side, and then you pick up for the front, and then do more short rows. Like, the only real skills are picking up stitches and short rows. I would say this is a very interesting construction. I've never done this before. It's my first time, but I really like it because it's not challenging if you know how to pick up stitches and you know German short rows, which are my favorite short rows. So it's not challenging, but it's just interesting. It's different. And I think if you want a break from circular yokes or raglans, this might be a really good option for you. It's not out yet. It'll be out very, very soon. I think at the beginning of November. But again, it's called the Lakes Pullover, and it's lovely, by Ozetta. Ozetta, I really do, I've test knit for her a couple times, and I really do love her patterns. They are easy to follow, very good instructions, and I love her classic silhouettes. I think it's a really good opportunity to use a fun yarn and let it shine. Because for me, like this, normally the idea of doing something that has a more variegation than I normally would do, like, yes, it's one tone technically with the pink, but obviously like there's a huge difference from this to this, right? But I think with Ozetta's classic clean silhouettes, a more fun yarn does work. But that's, again, how I like to do it. It may not be how you like to do it, and that's okay. Okay, now I can talk about, oh boy, I can talk about some yarn stuff that I got from Korea. So Korea doesn't really have a huge knitting community. They have a larger crochet community. There's a lot of crochet things, but knitting itself isn't as big because honestly, machine knitting, like machine knit goods, are just so prolific and cheap in Korea that there's no real need. And I mean, there's not a need in the US, but I don't think it's as big of a presence yet. I think the community in Korea has definitely grown, but it's certainly still in its burgeoning stages. But they do have commercial yarn. They do more commercial yarn than indie dyed yarn, I will say, in Korea. Indie dyeing is still very new, and it's not at brick and mortars. If there are brick and mortars, generally they carry commercial. I will say, I am going to be posting a 5-minute video of a tour through one of them, the biggest yarn store that I could find online. Or I found the yarn store online and I went to it and I showed it to you guys. That's what I meant. I realized my phrasing was confusing. Anyway, so you'll see there that I do talk about a lot of this stuff. I will say Korean commercial yarn, like the yarns that are available in Korea that are commercial, much better quality than in the US. Much, much better quality. For example, this guy. So this was the first time I'd ever seen this yarn. It's called Lolita from Fildar. Fildar, I think, is like the brand, and Lolita is the line. This is, let's see, 47% acrylic, so not awesome. It feels good though. 33% polyester and 10% wool and 10% polyamide. I will say, if you had told me this was a mohair silk blend, I would have believed you. It feels really good. And the reason I chose this yarn was because if you look closely, it's actually a zebra stripe. Like, there are neon zebra stripes that run through it and different shades. Like, it's really interesting. I'd never seen yarn like this. Obviously I've seen zebra stripe yarn in the US. I've seen it. But definitely not for a mohair, and definitely not in these shades. To me, it was very fascinating. And I plan on holding this with a plain yarn, like a plain white one, to let the changes in the mohair shine, because that to me is a lot of fun. All those little different colors, and you see the little neon bits. I just think that's really cute and really fun. Korea really likes feminine, really cutesy stuff. If you watch, I am planning on recording a bonus episode that's just my Korea haul. I think you'll see that the aesthetic is very cute. But yeah, so this is one of the yarns I got. The other one is a mystery. I got a cone of this, and I don't know what it is. I know there's wool in it. I know there's wool. And I'm pretty sure there's some... No, maybe it's just unspun wool. But it's on a big old cone, so I think it's approximately 900 yards. Don't know what I'm gonna make with it. Again, I'll probably hold it with something. It's a really pretty color, and they had a sample swatch knit up at the store. And I just thought I liked it. I didn't go in with a plan. I really shouldn't have bought this, but it's really pretty and really soft. And I know you guys are thinking Ara, but you don't like unspun yarn. You don't, yeah, I don't. But I think held with a normal yarn, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And it'll be really pretty, because this colorway, it's like, when you watch a sunset, but it's not. The reason I prefer sunrises over sunsets is that sunsets are too garish to me. Everybody likes the deep reds, deep oranges. For me, it's about the soft shade between pink and blue. For me, that's the prettiest. And that is exactly that. So that's what I got. It's a big old cone. It's very heavy. I also, while I was there, I'm going to talk about this in the bonus video of the walking through the yarn store, but they also had these susemi. So susemi, or basically dishcloths, sponges. They're made with this bristly yarn, and they're crocheted. And you can do all kinds of cute shapes, obviously, because crochet lends itself really well to that. But Koreans love these sponges in particular, susemi. And Pano's Story had kits. The yarn store that I went to was called Pano's Story. But they had kits, but for people like me who cannot crochet for their life, and I have tried to learn, I know, they have them pre-made that you can buy. And so I bought this set. And basically it's like a fried egg sandwich, because you got the 2 pieces of bread, you got some lettuce. Look how cute the lettuce is. Lettuce. And then obviously the fried egg. But yeah, I just thought it was a really cute souvenir, and also very functional, because I love these sponges. If you've never used the Korean sponges, like this kind of bristly, shiny thing, they're real good. I can't use American sponges if they're like, they just soak up water and stay logged that way. These are real good. These are real good. Take my word on it. And I also got a gift set for my friend Megan. There's like a carrot, a lemon, a grape. Like you can see the lemon more clearly in the back. Down here, there's a strawberry. It's all crushed up. But that I thought this was a really cute gift. One, because it's useful. Like I said, I love these sponges, and it's very Korean. My friend Megan is Korean. She was adopted as a baby into a Caucasian American family, so she has never been to Korea. So I wanted to get her a lot of stuff while I was over there, because I kept like being like, oh, Megan would love that. Oh, I want Megan to try that. Anyway, yeah, but in Korea, traditionally, when you go visit someone, you bring them a gift, right? You never show up with empty hands. And one of the really popular things to do is to do a fruit basket. And I thought this was really cute, even though technically a carrot is not a fruit, unless if someone comments that like, oh, actually a carrot is a fruit, like, don't. I remember my ex told me that almonds are technically like peaches, or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know, but it was almonds and peaches, and it made me really angry, because it's one of those things that like, scientifically, yes, it's correct. Yeah, yes, but in your soul, you feel like it's wrong, you know? Am I making sense? Okay, now I'm getting like thoroughly distracted. Anyway, that's the yarny stuff I got from Korea. Then I can talk about the yarny stuff I got that's not Korea related. And I realize this video is gonna go kind of long, and I've probably rambled way more than I should. But hey, if I'm not staying on brand. Okay, so this one I ordered while I was away, and it was here waiting for me when I got back. This is from Cat Sandwich Fiber Company, or Cat Sandwich Fibers. And MJ, she's another Korean woman whom I love her work. She does the cutest speckles ever. Okay, so this colorway is called Sweet and Spookier. And like, do you see how precious her speckling is? It's so delicate and complex. There's so many different layers. There's so many different shades. I'm counting neon pink, neon yellow, neon green, neon orange, black. I'm seeing some blue. So that's like 6 right there. And it's so artfully, tastefully done. Like, her speckles are truly just stunning, and I'm obsessed. Yeah, so when she did her shop update, this was her first in a long time. I was over the moon. I knew I had to get something, even though I reasonably should not have, but I don't regret it because it's so pretty. And I love the name, Sweet and Spookier. Like, it's Halloween-y without being overly Halloween-y, you know? Yeah, and I love that. I love it. Yeah, this is more pink than this. Again, I'm just going back to this because it makes me so mad. Sorry. Okay, I promise not to bring that up anymore. But yes, Sweet and Spookier by Cat Sandwich. Love her. I hope she does more updates more frequently. Not that I want her to burn out, because she took a step back because there was so much burnout that she was experiencing, because she used to be like real big. But I love her work. She's so talented, and I do want more of it. So yeah, let a bitch know. Sorry, I shouldn't have cursed. Sorry, YouTube. Anyway, okay. Let's talk about Christmas. I love Christmas. I love the Christmas season. Obviously, after my mom died, so you guys know I've talked about it before. My mom found out that my father was having an affair, and it was on Christmas Day of 2020. She told me the day after that, and then the day after that, she committed suicide. So Christmas is complicated for me now, but I used to just love Christmas. I loved the idea of Christmas, maybe because I never really had what I see as like the American Christmas, your family coming over and the tradition of like making cookies and cooking things together. Like, I didn't have that quintessential American Christmas experience. So I think I really idealized it in my mind, but I still love it. I love the lights. I love meeting friends and getting gifts, and I really like the idea of thoughtfulness and tradition, because I think I lacked a lot of those aspects in my family growing up. But anyway, I think every year I have been trying to redefine my relationship with the holiday. Or I say every year, I guess this is only going to be the second year. But anyway, yeah, so this year, my friend Megan, Kimchi & Co, and I've talked about doing Christmas sweaters. And at first we were just going to do one. But then we found another pattern and we're like, oh, well, no, we got to do two because it would be too perfect. So one of them is using this yarn. And it'll be for the red viburnum pullover by Olga. I actually wrote this down because I knew I would forget. Olga Putano. Okay, so the red viburnum pullover is written for Erin Weight. Yeah, this is Erin Weight. This is from Craft Me Not Yarn Co. We actually, she is a friend of both Megan and I's Craft Me Not Yarn Co. And she's a very talented dyer. I admire her very much. And we reached out to her to do a custom order for us for this sweater in particular. And so Megan and I got the same colors. The pattern, red viburnum pullover, is basically holly. It's colorwork yoke using holly designs, motif, and I think it's really cute. And Megan and I both agreed to do the traditional color scheme. We talked to Sarah about the kind of green, the kind of red that we were looking for, and she 110% delivered exactly what was in our minds. I'm so excited. I've always wanted a Christmas sweater. I've talked about it for so many years, and I think this year I'm finally actually going to make myself do one. And it's an Erin Weight, so I know it'll be done quickly. There's obviously a lot more of the main color. I say this every time because someone is always like, how can you make a sweater out of just however many skeins? And I'm like, no, it's just how many I can fit in my hands, because I don't want to be like this the entire time I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, so these are custom colors. So she wrote just for Aro. I'm sure the ones for Megan, she wrote for Megan. I love that. Low-key, I've always wanted a colorway named after me. So whenever someone just writes for Aro, I love it. It's like the easiest way to make me go like, yeah. It's not hard, honestly, it's not hard. But yeah, red viburnum pullover using Craft Me Not Yarn Co. Love. So excited. I know Megan is excited as well. And then the second Christmas sweater that Megan and I have planned is using some Woolberry Fibre Co. Now, I just got in my shipment of Woolberry Fibre Co.'s Garden Walk collection, and it is substantial, the amount of yarn I got. It is the second biggest update that I've ever shopped, like the most that I've ever gotten. Second most. The first one was Explorer Knits. Now it's this, and this is it. So this colorway, color palette. This one, what it will become is Fallow by Anne Michelle Fillon. It's a beautiful colorwork sweater. It's in DK weight. That's what this is. And it features reindeer motif, and I really liked it because it's not overly Christmassy. Like the reindeer itself, yes, obviously it evokes winter, but I thought it would be able to be worn fall through late winter. So I think that's a good amount of time to have it still be seasonal and not totally out there. The colorways that I got, this is Heirloom on Berry DK, which is 100% superwash merino. And the middle color, the contrast color, is Homestead, also on the same base from Woolberry Fibre Co. And Heirloom was inspired by heirloom tomatoes. It's very tonal. You can see the darks and the bright tones to it. And Homestead was inspired just as a perfect neutral pairing for pretty much every colorway in the collection. And it is amazing. I love this so much. I really like that this is not, it's not plain red. Like, because of the bright tone aspects to it, it can pass as an orange in some lights, which is why I think I'll get a lot of wear out of this sweater once I do make it, because it can pass as orange, it seems so autumnal, and then it can also pass as red, obviously, so that's where the winter aspect comes in. And I really love having sweaters that I can have be seasonal for a long period of time, and because in Utah, fall starts pretty quick and winter goes pretty long, like, I'm really happy that I can wear this for so long. And that's what this will be. Again, heirloom and homestead. Love that. The other one, I got Bouquet. I think y'all knew once Bethany shared this that I would be getting it. It is a perfect pink. I got this on Berry Worsted, which is 100% superwash merino on worsted. It does have a more rustic feel than the DK, Berry DK. However, it's not at all too rustic for me to work with. You guys should know by now, if you've watched other episodes of mine, I'm very sensitive to touch. I want things to be soft and smooth, except mohair and suri. Those are soft. They're not smooth, but they're very soft. This one, it has a rougher hand feel than most superwash I work with. However, it's not enough for me to consider it rustic, and it's still very workable. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. Yeah, and love the colorway. Again, that's called Bouquet, and it's this gorgeous pink, obviously tonal. You can see the different tones. Yeah, and tonal, if you guys haven't worked a lot with indie yarn, tonal is a term. It's different from, what's that word? Solid colors. Because the aspect of hand dyed, I think it's difficult to achieve a plain solid color, and I personally don't like a plain solid color because I think it lacks depth. Like when you get a sweater that's knit by a machine from Old Navy, that'll be a simple solid color, right? That's what I mean by a solid versus a tonal, which has these little delicate shifts to it. And I love that aspect of hand knitting. Like for me, I don't like working with solids because it lacks visual interest for me. Again, it's a personal choice. Some people like knitting with solids, and that's fine. It's just not for me. That's partially why I love working with fuzzy yarns, because it adds depth. It adds that halo, it adds that shine. So depending on how you're standing, the light hits it different, right? Yeah, but that's what I love about it. And then, ooh, looks like the last yarn I will show you guys is this. Also from Woolberry as part of her Garden Walk collection. I am still waiting on the Hello Lavender stitch marker aspect of that collection, because that is 110% my largest ever stitch marker purchase. I got a lot. It's really pretty, but they were in conjunction as part of the same collection, so that's why I brought it up. Anyway, I don't mind waiting. Reshma is doing an amazing job. I love her. Don't ever change. You're amazing. I mean, you can change and you will continue to improve and be amazing. Anyway, this colorway, like when I got my Woolberry shipment, you guys, I literally screamed. And a large part of it was due to this colorway, because it's so pretty. It's called Haven. And I'm just saying, she could have added an E because it would have been the same thing. This colorway is heaven to me. It's so pretty. There's such a beautiful depth to this. It's obviously red and pink, and like it has these tones of mauvey purple, but it is so pretty. And at first, when I saw her photo of it when this update was happening, I was like, oh, well, maybe there's no way that the yarn actually looks like that. And that sounds bad to say, but a lot of indie dyers, they struggle with how to edit photos because everybody's screen looks different. Lighting can change how yarn looks. I get it, but like I just assumed that colorway looks so amazing on the screen. It has to be like photoshopped. It can't be real. And then I opened the dang box and it was that pretty. It was perfect. It was exactly as was pictured. And I lost my dang mind. Because, like, look at that. Yeah, Bethany did me dirty with this update, because now I'm just like, I should have got more. Like, I could have even afforded more, because it's so pretty. And no, I don't know what I'm gonna make with it. I don't have a plan yet, but we're gonna think about it because it's so pretty. And sometimes when I get really, really nice yarn, sometimes I respond in the way that, oh, I have to work with it right now because I like it so much. And then other times I respond in the way that's like, oh my God, I like this so much. I just need to keep it in my stash to just look at it for a while. Yeah, so this might be, I think I'm already feeling the vibe of, this is just gonna sit in my stash for a while because I just wanna look at it sometimes. Yeah. But okay, that's all the yarn I had to show you. Sorry I didn't have more whips. I am getting really back into my knitting rhythm, which I'm so happy about. I'm just glad to be back, and I did miss you guys. And I will be recording the Korea haul update video bonus episode soon, so please keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys again for all your love and patience and support. It has meant the world while I was on a difficult trip. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys soon.